Alright, gang. A little bummed. Super Bowl's over. And my Falcons lost. But I am a true fan. It was a good game. Very good game. It's just you can't make all these mistakes like the Falcons defense did and expect to win a game. Especially when you got a good team with that has just been together for a while, and probably the best coach to ever coach football, Bill Belichick. He is the best. But it's always next season, and it starts today. Alright, anyway, I'm going to talk to you guys about the reason why my YouTube name is Georgia Hex. Well, of course, I'm from Georgia. And Hex is from Jonah Hex. Now, I am a big time comic book kid from the 70s and 80s. My two favorite comic books were Ghost Rider and Jonah Hex. Now, I didn't get into Jonah Hex until, oh gosh, it must have been like 80s, early 80s. And how I got into it was we was up north visiting family, and on our trip back home we stopped by this gas station. And well, the gas station had, magazine area, and for those of you who are my age, the comic book carousel. So I'm looking through there, through all the comic books, and I keep running across these Jonah Hex comic books. So I grabbed them. I can't recall the numbers of each comic book off the top of my head, but I still have them. And I picked up 5 or 6 of them, and I was hooked. I read those things all the way home. We had an 8-hour ride, and I read those things until it got too dark to read, and then I fell asleep in the car until we got home. Get home, I go to a trade shop, and I start buying up all the Jonah Hex I could get. So I actually have the number 1 all the way up to the last episode, the last comic book before, I don't know why they did it. Jonah Hex gets transported to the future, and they dropped Jonah and just called it Hex. And they kind of just killed him. Anyway, still a huge Jonah Hex fan. Despised the movie. Oh my gosh, they just ruined it. Ruined Jonah Hex. They could have done so much with him. But anyway, this Jonah Hex figure came from DC Direct. I got it. Actually, I don't recall the year I bought it. I remember when they came out, they were like $100 online, and I just couldn't pull the trigger on that. And I kept looking at them, and finally ran across one that was $60 plus shipping, and I grabbed it. I'm glad I did, because this is an awesome figure. Now, if you're one of those people that collect comic book figures, and you don't have him, you really need to get him. He's very well made, very good detail. Comes with a different assortment of hands. They're still in the box. It comes also with a stand to put him on. Well, when I got this Jonah Hex, I talked to my youngest brother, who used to build G.I. Joe style soldiers as a hobby, and he used to go around picking up the Mark's horses, and he used to use those for like the German officers in World War I and World War II, primarily World War II. So he gave me that Mark's horse as you see it, the tack and everything. So what I did is I put Jonah Hex on the horse. Now the horse the saddle's missing one stirrup, and the bridle is in pretty bad shape. I actually have a new bridle, or a better bridle, but man, I don't know where I stuck it. I've had it for years, and I've been looking for it, and I just cannot find it. I guess I'll hunt another one down eventually and try to get me a stirrup. But let's talk about Jonah Hex. The figure is about 12 inches tall. He comes with his 2 pistols, but he does not come with his tomahawk. The detail is awesome. The overcoat, really good material, really thick material, and the shirt and pants, they're cloth as well. None of it's vinyl. The only plastic are the boots and the hat is removable. So we'll take a look at him. There he is in his Confederate gray. The belt buckle, CS. He's got both his guns. As I said, he didn't come with a tomahawk. That's kind of disappointing. The boots, you know, stained up from the trail. The overcoat, as you see right there, it has wear on it and stains. All right. So now there's, let it focus. There it is. Good detail on the scar on his face. All right. I'm sorry I'm so shaky. My tripod isn't working, and I don't have the greatest hands anymore. So I apologize, but you'll have to just deal with me. You see the buttons on the coat, the CS belt buckle, as I previously stated, and the pants tucked into the boots. All right. Both guns are in the holsters that is, and you see stains on the clothing. I mean, this action figure has great detail. All right, there's one of the pistols. Now, when I got him, I put both pistols in the holsters, and that sucker didn't want to come out. And the chamber actually rolls. Well, you can't see it with my finger rolling it, but trust me, it rolls, and it's really good detail. All right, and on the gun belt, you have bullets. Now, he's got great articulation. I don't move him, adjust him around on his arms, legs, or head. I don't want him to get loose, but I do adjust him where he can sit on the horse. He's just a little big for the horse, but, you know, hey, it works. In most of the comic books, he had a darker colored horse, so I think this horse works well with him. Like I said, the bridle is in bad shape, and I'm missing the stirrup on the other side of the horse. All right, now I mentioned I wasn't pleased with the Jonah Hex movie, but for you Clint Eastwood fans, Outlaw Josey Wales. Now you look at that how they had Clint Eastwood made up with, he had a scar on his right jaw. He was a Confederate soldier that fought because, well, he didn't fight for slavery and all that good stuff. He fought because of, you know, where his home was, and Outlaw Josey Wales, that is, and the Union soldiers that killed his wife and kid. Jonah Hex has got a great backstory. Look into it if you've never really got into Jonah Hex. I think most people will pretty much like it. Now, I have some friends that, they're African American, and they try to rag on me because I'm a huge Jonah Hex fan. They says because he's a Confederate soldier. I said, well, one, I'm a Southerner, and of course I like this Confederacy. But that's not why I like Jonah Hex. It was just a good comic book, bounty hunter, great stories in the comic books. And if you go by the mainstream about the South fighting for slavery, that is so wrong. It's only like 6% of the Southerners had slaves. So you had like 94% of them fought for their rights. I mean, look into it. It wasn't about slavery for the South. But I'm gonna stop there because I can start rambling, and I don't want people to start thinking I'm a racist a-hole and all that, because I'm not. It's just history is construed big time on almost every event that's ever happened in this country. And I'm stopping there with my, I guess, my thoughts on history. So anyway, let's get back to the Jonah Hex figure. Like I said, he's 12 inches tall. Great detail. He is awesome. Now, ever since I've had him, he sat on the horse. And, it's a Mark's horse. I'm not sure the year this one came out. I think it's Thunderbolt. When I got him from my brother, this is how I got him. And the horse, since Jonah Hex has been sitting on him for several years. I don't know if it's the weight of Jonah Hex, because he is a heavy character or figure. But the glue turned loose on the underside of the horse. I'm gonna, while I've got Jonah Hex off, I'm gonna strip the horse of all the tack and clean it up real good and re-glue him. And that's pretty much what I'm gonna do to the horse. I'm not gonna repaint anything, because I think the scuffs and scrapes should remain on the horse. But again, guys, Jonah Hex, one of my favorite comic book characters of all time. I know usually people are Superman, Batman, X-Men and all that stuff. And I do like all that, but when I read comic books, I was a big time kid watching westerns and war movies. And those were the comic books I kind of read. Jonah Hex was basically the only, I guess, western aligned comic I read. But like G.I. Combat, Haunted Tank, oh man, Sergeant Rock, man, those were great comics. I actually, as a kid, I had ordered or subscribed to Sergeant Rock, G.I. Combat for 1 year, and then Jonah Hex. And well, I think I also subscribed to Star Wars, because I got a pile of those as well, but I never completed the series of Star Wars. But again, DC Direct, awesome. The comic books, the graphic novels, awesome. Outlaw, Josey Wells, Jonah Hex. I know Jonah Hex came out in All-Star Westerns. I want that book, but when I find it, it's either in really horrible shape and overpriced, or in really good shape and overpriced. I will get one day, but I I want to say that Jonah Hex predated Outlaw Josey Wells. I might be wrong there. I do have the movie. I guess I could look at the year the movie came out and the year All-Star Western came out with Jonah Hex. Batlash, I'm not sure how long Batlash was out as well. But I have a few Batlash also. They're not as good as the Jonah Hex comics. The Jonah Hex comics are just awesome to me. Maybe they'll do another Jonah Hex movie and do it justice. I doubt it. Megan Fox is a gorgeous woman. She played Tallulah, but of course she didn't go by Tallulah until the end of the movie. She did all right, but again, I don't think they had the right characters or the right actors. Like when they announced Jonah Hex, before they announced who was going to direct it and who was going to play in it, I think I'm going to get his name right. He played in the Punisher movies, the first one with John Travolta. I think his name was Thomas Jane. He actually had himself made up to look like Jonah Hex, and you can see the pictures online because he wanted the role of Jonah Hex. To me, I like when an actor goes after a movie role of something that they're passionate about or they like. So Thomas Jane was a Jonah Hex fan, like Nick Cage was a Ghost Rider fan. I did like both of the Ghost Rider movies. Even though Nicolas Cage had Ghost Rider 2 go darker, it could have went a lot darker in my opinion. And hopefully the rumors are true that Ghost Rider is going to be on Netflix. We'll see. I know it'll be a ton of money to spend to make a Ghost Rider series. I'm rambling again, guys. I love comic books. I love Jonah Hex and Ghost Rider. And there's nothing more I can say about this figure. As again, if you collect comic book figures and you don't have this figure, you're doing yourself an injustice. It is just an awesome figure. And if you get him, get you a Mark's horse. I know you can find them in different prices and different conditions, but try to get it with all the tack. The rifle that's on the horse came with the horse as well. My brother would, redo the saddles, paint them up, cut them up, whatever he had to do. But luckily, he gave me this one intact. he's got a talent for that stuff. Maybe I'll do a video one day of the airborne soldier he built, but he never weathered. It's just awesome. Alright, gang, I've been trying to keep my videos short, but this one's gotten long. Guess because I'm down in the dumps about my Falcons losing the Super Bowl. They put a good effort in, and they'll get back there again one day, maybe next year. I honestly wasn't thinking they'd be there until next year. This year was just gravy. They can only get better. Alright, gang, I'm going to end it there. Jonah Hex, Bounty Hunter. Great, great comic book. You guys have a great day or a great evening, and enjoy your week.